Alright, so the last video I made cut out because my phone died. But shoot, I don't even know what the last thing I was saying. But I'm making these videos to really reach out to people who I haven't reached out to in a long time. And I know the reason why now. In this society that we live in, people are isolated. People are isolated because of race, because of gender, because of sex, because of sexual orientation. There's all of this division to keep common people from communicating with each other, from collaborating with each other, even from loving each other. There's a culture of abuse and hate that is perpetuated by our capitalist system that says there are people who are of more value and importance than others. There are people who are worth owning more land. There are people who have the right to say that they can own the earth, instead of it being what it is, a living, breathing thing that all organisms that live here are dependent on to live. The moment that there is ever placed a cost of living, that's how you know there's corruption, because it shouldn't cost to live. Inherently, by your existence, you are worth being here. You are worth using the earth. You're worth taking care of the earth and taking care of yourself and taking care of the people around you, the animals around you. Everything is supposed to be working in order with each other, working in harmony, but that's not the case. Clearly, there's war going on. We have eradicated species. We've brought species to, I'm sorry, it's not extinction. That's eradicating this species, but endangerment. So, as a species, we need to evolve, and it's not simply a group of people out in some other country fighting a war for everybody. It has to be every single person deciding, I want to empower myself. I want to strengthen myself, exercise. And then I stop contributing to capitalism as much as I can. Maybe you quit your job. Maybe you leave your properties, sell everything. The point is, it's up to the individual to decide, this is how I will contribute. And it can't just be a reform effort. It can't just be, oh, I want to vote in someone, or I want to represent our people and become a candidate for whatever election, mayor, president, whatever. And the reason for this, the reason why you cannot reform and fix a broken system is because it is essentially the same as fixing a house on a broken foundation. The foundation from the beginning of you trying to fix the house, if it is already a broken foundation, if it's not a good, sound, solid foundation, no matter what you do to it, the renovations and the fixtures, the things that you make on the house to improve it, it will fail. It'll collapse. And that's what's happening now. So we have a society that's in economic, political, racial, ecologic distress. Ecologic meaning the ecology, the physical, natural wellness of the planet. We have this human species is going through this distress because as a whole, we are struggling with ourselves. We're struggling to decide whether we want to sit down and be a wimp and let the world go out in an explosion or go out in a climate crisis or go out in any other way that we can otherwise prevent. I'm calling for everyone to, number one, minimize your contribution to capitalism. And I'm going to make more videos about this, but to list a few things, which I already have listed a few things. I listed things that I did, and I understand that everyone is starting from a different situation. Everyone has a different amount of privilege because of the hierarchy, and everyone has their self and their family. Some people don't have a family to look after and for them to be looked after. So it's important to also help those people. My point is, everyone has a say. And the importance is to take up your autonomy, take up your self-governance and decide what you want to do, what you are purposed to do in this life, to empower yourself, empower your fellow human, to take care of the other animals that live on this planet, and to take care of the planet itself. We cannot continue the way we've been going. We've had so many warnings from dystopian movies. And at the end of the day, it just becomes entertainment for people. It just becomes, oh, that's not gonna happen in real life. Well, it is already happening. People's, in the very least, people in one of the most privileged countries in the world they just ruled that your bodily autonomy does not matter. It happened last year. It didn't just happen. But there's also a whole war effort that's been going on for years of going to other countries and bombing them and taking resources and just a whole bunch of bullshit. Wars, just people taking their lives and going out there and fighting for something that they believe in, and it turns out that they are pawns in a scheme to just tickle some rich person's fancy. Just a bunch of rich people fighting over what lands they occupy, fighting over what resources they feel entitled to, fighting over slaves or forced work or agricultural workers in nations where with indigenous people who are being forced to work. It's slavery. It's not, doesn't matter what kind of euphemism you put on it, it's slavery. So all of this is happening, and I'm calling for each of you to do something about it. And for me, it started with stop doing things that contribute to it. Obviously, I'm using technology. I haven't dropped out completely from there's really big piles of shit out here. I'm in the middle of the woods. I haven't completely stopped using technology, and I'm staying in my vehicle, so I have been purchasing gas, and ironically, not as much as I was before. Although I'm living a nomadic lifestyle now. So what I want to do is to minimize my impact even more, and make a difference by reaching out to people and encouraging them to take up their autonomy. And the whole philosophy that I've been talking about this entire time is called anarchy. I remember hearing about anarchy maybe the first time when I was in, when I first started going to college, and I heard about it from a classmate, and it turns out that a lot of creative people, a lot of people in general are anarchists, and they just don't know it yet. And anarchy is the principle of everyone has their own autonomy. There is no hierarchy, and we live in societies, and within our communities, we cooperate with each other, and we produce our needs. We don't need to mass produce things to the point of waste and excess for a few people, and have other people starving. So as an anarchist, I cannot continue to isolate myself and allow social anxiety to stop me from reaching out to people who I love. And there's been so much that has happened in the last few years where I felt alone. Right now I'm living with my partner, and it helps. It helps me not feel so alone. But I was going through a lot of mental distress, and everyone is. But I never expected that things would turn out this way. And then, like, I don't want to go into detail. The point is, in a capitalist society that dictates that there's a hierarchy, and that people are inherently different from each other in terms of their value, their importance, their if you're the wrong color skin, if you speak the wrong language, if you don't have as much money as someone else, you automatically are deemed worthless. And it's not right. And we know this. It's core, it's human nature. We have feelings. We're empathetic, sympathetic creatures. And we understand that we can hurt each other, we can uplift each other, and we can put each other down. And a lot of what we've been doing is putting each other down. And it has to stop. The first step is uplifting yourself, loving yourself, taking care of your body, getting the food you need, the exercise, taking care of your family, even just prayer and meditation, doing things that bring you peace, but at the same time not mistaking it for being frivolous and leaning on luxuries that you don't really need. So I'll end this video here, but I'm going to make more. This is not my last video, and I am appreciative to those who have listened this far. I see that it's about 20 minutes of a video. I'm gonna put this up without editing it. I know it's rough, but it's honest, and I like that. And sometimes ultimately what we need is honesty, and to acknowledge what's really going on with ourselves, what's really going on with the world, so we can make decisions based on the actual reality of what's happening, instead of denial of, oh, it can't be that bad. So, like I said, I'm calling for everyone to devote their life to ending capitalism.